Well, hello to my JCI friends from all around the world. Guys, I gotta tell you, I miss you. I miss seeing you guys in person, but I'm watching you on social media, and I must say, I am very impressed with the work that you're continuing to do in growing as entrepreneurs, as leaders, as citizens, even if it means doing so virtually. I don't love video conferences, but we do what we got to do, right? So more and more, we must rely on video to communicate with each other, right? So I've been asked to come to you and provide a few tips on how you guys can make your self-produced videos even better. So we're going to concentrate on 3 things that you can do on almost any budget to really take your videos to the next level: audio, composition, and lighting. So first, I want to talk audio because, frankly, it's the most important part of your video. Now, I want to start off with a little experiment, okay? As you can see from our wide shot, hello wide shot, we're shooting most of this video just on a cell phone, the same thing you guys have to shoot with. But what's important is we have great sound. Okay, so now I'm shooting on a pretty high-end DSLR camera with an expensive Canon lens, but I'm using the camera's built-in audio to collect sound. As you can see, it's not very good. So clearly this shot here with marginal video but great audio is far better than the shot with great video but bad audio, right? Now, how do you achieve great audio? Well, 2 ways to do so on a budget. First, environment. Let's go back to using the camera's mic. Yeah, there you go. Doesn't sound quite as good, does it? When you're indoors, especially in a room with no carpet, sound is gonna bounce around everywhere. So if you have to shoot indoors, I'd recommend doing so in a quieter room that has carpet or a rug, even a bed, so that sound's not bouncing around everywhere. But you can see when we're outdoors in a quiet place where there's nowhere for sound to bounce off of, even if you're just using your camera's audio and you're close to the camera, it sounds pretty good. But it won't work so well if you're in a loud environment like this. Okay, let's move on now to audio equipment. Now, you may not have the time or resources to go about setting up a rig like this with a beautiful broadcast quality microphone or a shotgun microphone, but what most of us probably can have access to is a lapel mic. Let's switch from this audio to the lapel audio now. You see, it still sounds great. Sounds much better than just the camera's audio, right? You can get a lapel mic like this for around $20 US. Let's test this mic in those other environments. Now we're back in the large echoey room, this time using the lapel mic. Way better, right? Right? Oh yeah, way better. Even here in a downtown area with traffic moving behind me, with a lapel mic, my voice still stands out over the traffic noise. I would also recommend purchasing a microphone extension cable, since most of the lapel mics you can buy come with rather short cables. Okay, let's move on to composition now. Composition is simply a fancy word for how you set up your shot, how you frame your subject. To learn how not to compose a shot, we look no further than our favorite video conferencing calls. Lots of examples there of how not to do it. There's the backlit shot. Look at me, I'm hiding in the shadows. There's the shot with way too much headroom. There's the shot with not quite enough headroom. And finally, the most common bad video conferencing shot is the up angle, when your computer or your phone's camera is far below your eye level, so it's looking up at the bottom of your chin or up your nose. It's not flattering. Instead, what you want to do is get your computer and maybe set it up on something so that the computer's camera is nice and at eye level. See, this is way better here, right? Now, earlier, you heard me use the term headroom, which simply means the room in between the top of your subject's head and the top of the video. Now, this is probably a little too much headroom. This is not enough headroom. You want there to be just a little bit of room in between the top of your subject's head and the top of the screen. That's a pretty shot. So when you're interviewing someone or being interviewed yourself, there's a couple of different choices you can make in terms of composition. You can look right into the camera or have your subject look right into the camera, as I'm doing now in a host segment. But we're seeing a lot of this these days, aren't we? This is everything we see when we do video conferencing or video calls. So another option you have is to have your interviewer look a little off camera at you as if having a conversation. Now, the one caveat to that is this. If you're behind the camera and you're standing too far to one side of the camera when interviewing your subject, it could cause them to turn so far away from the camera that it kind of feels awkward, doesn't it? You may want to position yourself behind, and barely to one side of the camera so that your subject's eye line is a little more pleasing. This is good. This is awkward. Good, awkward. Good, awkward. Okay, so now let's talk lighting. So unless you're really into video production, you may not have access to fancy lights and stands, but that's totally okay. Your main goal should be to always find an environment that provides ample, even light. Like here in my kitchen, we have all these windows right here that let in a lot of natural light that bounce evenly off the white ceiling and onto my face for a good lighting scheme. But a lot of people will want to put their subject in front of a window like this in order to take advantage of the nice background. But the problem with that is that there's never enough light in the room coming on the subject's face to compete with the amount of light in the background. And that leaves us with this uneven backlit look. Isn't that right?
Yep.
High five. So one common misconception about shooting outside is that you want to do so in bright, beautiful, sunny weather, but that's actually not optimal. The best is on an overcast day like today, when the sun is diffused by the clouds, allowing it to spread light evenly all over the place so you don't get harsh shadows on faces. You see, when it's full sun like this, the sun hits one side of your face, makes it all bright, and the other side of your face is in a shadow. It's a sad shadow. When shooting video outdoors, always try to find places in which your subject and the background are in the same light. For instance, if your subject is in the shade, but the background is in full sun, either your subject's face will be underexposed, or the background will be way overexposed and all blown out. Oh, hey, one last little tip with regards to backgrounds. A lot of people have the instinct to set up a shot right up against the background, especially if it's a solid color background. My opinion is that makes it uninteresting. It makes it lack depth. I like to shoot shots that have a lot of depth behind me, like this example from a conference center. I took this shot in Panama when we were doing a video for the Conference of the Americas. We didn't get to go. But you see how the very deep background is far more interesting than this would have been, right? Okay, so I know that was probably a lot to throw at you guys, but if you'll concentrate on those three key areas, audio, composition, and lighting, you'll be able to take your videos to the next level so that you can continue to develop as entrepreneurs, as leaders, and as citizens, even if it means doing so virtually. We'll see you guys next time.